Okay guys, so here it is. I am going to show you guys step by step. Now that I have my steps down, I practiced and I think I did pretty good. It looks super nice in person. Obviously it looks really dark here, but trust me, it looks amazing. So okay guys, so you have your one coat of the G001 cured. That is huge. Make sure that this coat is cured. I also have a base coat. I didn't mention that, but I do have a base coat, and the base coat that I use is Koopa Gel Base. So that is what we're working with at first. Next up, I'm gonna put another thin layer. You're gonna work with thin layers, you guys. This is like a jelly gel polish, so it's thin to begin with, which is awesome because since there's a lot of layers, you don't want to use regular gel polish and then you have a problem with just how thick the nail comes out at the end. Okay, so my little swatch paper here is pretty full, so let me grab another one so we can start fresh and I'm not confusing you guys. Here it is, a fresh one. And right now, looking back at my notes, I am going to put a mixture of fall. So fall from the gel bottle. I'm just using very little coats, you guys, or dots, I guess, blobs of paint. A mixture of fall and fashion is my beginning layer. So like this. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this one, 00. I'm gonna leave the link to this one. I get it off of Amazon, and I'm gonna leave a link to my Amazon storefront for you guys, where if you're a nail tech or press-on nail business and you're interested in getting some of the same supplies that I get and that I recommend, I've used for a very long time, trust me, I've tried a lot of different ones, then I'll leave that link down below. So I just mixed those little blobs, very small, and this is good enough. And what I'm gonna do, this is the only step that I use this brush. You could leave it out, and I'll actually show you guys why I prefer this brush just for this first step, because you're gonna start with the just like small layers. So if you do it like this, I feel like it's not spread out enough and it's pretty dark. So what I like is to just use this brush and spread it out, just the beginning layer. And so just like that, so that's the difference. And you grab very little, and this mixture you're gonna use it again or something similar. So if you want to make a little bit less of this, you can. I probably made a bit too much, but that's okay. So it's just my first layer. It's random, you guys. So even though I'm doing a tutorial, I can't really, teach you guys everything, because unless you're doing the same exact strokes as me and you have everything identical, and even then, we're two different nail artists, so it might even come out different. So don't worry about it. Plus, this design is very forgiving, this technique. Every single one is gonna be different, and that's the beauty of it. And tortoise shell, an animal that has this, their patterns are not all identical, okay? So do not stress too much about it. Okay, I'm okay with this for now, so I'm gonna put this into the light for 30 seconds and I will be back. Okay, while that is in the lamp, referring back to my notes, we're gonna put a blob of just a tiny little blob, because I'm gonna use some of this, which is just fashion, just a tiny little bit, and I'm also gonna use a bit of that in this next coat. So for everything else here, I'm going to be using just this brush, the 00. So again, now it's another layer of this yellow, very thin. Okay, super thin layer, you guys. Remember, we're working with thin layers. I'm going to move that to the side, and then I'm going to grab a little bit of this fashion, and I'm just going to now blob it on kind of and spread it a bit. And I am just choosing random spots, no right or wrong way. to do this part, you guys. Just okay. And now I'm gonna grab a bit of this mixture that I made as well and put that on there too. So we're just creating layers, and it doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. Okay, so I'm happy with that. A tip that I can give you guys is don't be afraid, and you'll see me do this as the layers get, as we move on to some of the next layers. I will put a little bit down and then I'll go back in without curing, without putting more of that G001, this translucent yellow, and then you'll see the difference. One part, the part that I do first, will be lighter, and then the part on top will be darker, even though I did not put another layer over top. So you guys will see what I mean in the next clips. Okay, so while that is in the lamp, the next step is going to be to do another mixture of fashion. So I'm going to do a bit more since I do have to mix. So fashion and black, okay? So you're going to do a mixture of both of these. Now, if you have colors similar to these two mixtures that I'm doing, then you can go ahead and just use that. I tried out a couple of different things, and this is just what is working for me. So I think it doesn't take me that much longer just to do this. So for me personally, I think I will just stick to mixing. But if you feel like you're taking longer, or you could maybe possibly do it a faster way and you have these colors, then you can go ahead and do that. So again, I just mixed a bit of fashion and black, a jet black. Okay, I'm gonna do another thin layer. So we're on to our fourth layer with the basic layer we did. To begin with. Okay, so this is it, and as you can see, it's still not thick. This is very, very thin, you guys, so definitely recommend using jellies. It is not thick, and even when we're done, it is not a thick nail. It is slightly bumpy, but we are gonna file that down, so that'll be fine. But it's honestly not that bumpy, honestly. It's pretty good. Okay, so I have my layer there. I'm gonna grab some of this mixture that we did, and I'm gonna start layering it on the spots that we already did. I don't want to cover my spots completely because obviously we want that depth. We want that to show through. And I'm gonna create like separate spots that weren't there before. Okay. There we go. And it'll start spreading too, since it's uncured gel. It'll spread a bit, so let it do that. Don't put it immediately in the lamp. Okay, I'm happy with this, but here's the thing, you guys. I'm not putting a second layer. I'm just wiping down my brush, and in this same layer, I like to do a mixture of jet black. Okay, so jet black and chocolate. Okay, so I'm gonna mix these two. There we go. Creates this like almost black, very dark chocolatey color, but not quite black. Okay, so I created this, and this is what I mean. I have not cured this layer, you guys, and on top of it, I'm gonna put some of this mixture. Okay, so you guys will get to see right now. Looks very, very nice. Okay, so you see that you just get, I hope you guys can appreciate that, you get a lot of depth. And that's exactly what you want with this design. It's starting to get darker. Again, your spots do not have to be perfect, so don't expect them to be perfect. Don't overthink it, which I know is funny coming from me, the overthinking queen. But for some reason, this wasn't as complicated for me because I knew that the end result had to be not perfect and not mixy matchy. So okay, I am happy with this. I hope that you guys can see the depth in it, the layers. It's still pretty light compared to this, but in the next 2 layers you guys will see this kind of transform. And if you guys like this look, then you guys could definitely keep it like that. I know I've seen so many different tones of this. Let me put this in the lamp before something happens to it. I know I've seen so many different versions of this, and so you can stop at any point if you feel like you prefer a different look. Now I really am going for this one. I really loved how this looked, and again, it's looking a bit darker on camera than it is in person, but that's okay. I'm still gonna use this same mixture, black and chocolate mix, for the last layer with the yellow. Okay, so last thin layer, you guys. Make sure they're very thin. Okay, there we go, very thin layers. I'm gonna grab the same mixture again. This is jet black and chocolate mixture, and I'm going to put it here and there. I'm layering where I already have like some depth, but I obviously don't want to cover it all up. So you guys will definitely in person get to see the different tones and things. It looks so pretty. It looks so awesome. Okay. And then don't be afraid, like if you were able to see here, I kind of sort of connected these two. Don't be afraid to connect areas. They don't have to be just blobs on their own. It actually looks better when you connect them a bit. So I'm gonna connect a few of these. Okay. There we go. I'm happy with that. So I'm really happy with how that looks. So I am just going to add a little bit more here. Don't have to, but I am. And I'm going to put this into the lamp for 30 seconds. Okay, so you're done with these colors now. It doesn't take that long at all. The last thing is I'm going to put just a little dot of black here. Just a little, I don't need too much. These away. Okay. Next up is we're going to be needing a blooming gel. The blooming gel I'm using is from Hot Tips Beauty. Definitely recommend this one. It's the one that I've been using. It is really good. So just wiping my brush a bit. Oops, just wiping my brush. Okay, the very last step here in building this technique is to add a thin layer. Again, I sound like a broken record, but very thin layers. So a thin layer of blooming gel. Okay, that is good enough. And I'm gonna take a little bit of black. I'm just gonna blob it on different areas, and it'll spread on its own. But I tried this technique, and I also like to spread it myself a little bit too. But if you just leave it, it will spread on its own. So that looks nice. And then this is what I mean. Don't be afraid to add more layers without curing and without adding more another coat of blooming gel. It's not necessary. Okay. bring in a lot more black. So here's a comparison. This one's still a bit more yellow than these, so that's okay. I'm just gonna add more black, and that's normal because I kind of got it down with these, and these were a lot smaller than the thumb, so it's normal that I'm kind of having to add more product, obviously, to get that same sort of effect. Okay, just comparing again. That thumb looks really nice. It has a lot more yellow tint to it, obviously. So what I'm going to do is grab a bit more of this mixture that I did with the jet black and chocolate, just to not add all the same tones here. I'm liking how this is turning out now, and I'm gonna grab just a bit of this other mixture that I had done too, just to add just a little bit here and there. Okay, I'm gonna let that spread out a little bit because it's looking like just dots, and then I'm gonna help it spread a little bit more too. I'm gonna turn this around since we do have blooming gel, just so that it can help the spreading and so that we don't get all these like bumps and lumps here. And then when I turn it around, I'm gonna see how I feel about it. If I still am liking the, yeah, that definitely helps. So there you go. Hopefully you guys can appreciate that. It was looking very yellowy, which is nothing wrong with it, but it did stand out a bit from the rest. So I just did a little bit of mixing. I just didn't use enough of these in the beginning. Like I said, that's normal just because it is a thumb, so my ratios were off a bit. So yeah, I'm just gonna add just a last layer. Just use up this black that I have here, and that is it. Yeah, it still looks nice, so I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. If you were not happy with that, you can cure this layer. So let's cure it 30 seconds in the lab. And actually, I might still do that. Cure this layer, and then you can put another thin layer of Hot Tips Beauty and just a little bit more of the black, which I think I'm actually going to do. But if you got your ratios right and everything, you can stop when I take, like here, when I take this out of the lamp, and then just put a shiny coat on it if that's what you wanted to do. Okay, I decided to leave it like that. I'm not gonna add another layer of the blooming gel. This is good enough. It looks fine. It does look a little bit different, but like I said, do not stress, you guys. Do not stress. That is how this print is supposed to look. All prints are supposed to look different, so it's okay. I am just overthinking it, and we're not gonna do that today. So this can go away now. The next step is to put a shiny coat on this. So I'm using Gel Elixir, no wipe top coat. I'm just gonna make sure to get all of the layers sealed in. And I am going to put this on all of them, and I will be back. Okay, So right now we have a top coat here, and I'm just going to kind of feel it out. There's actually, the top coat kind of hid a lot of the little bumps, but there are a few. So what you're gonna do is, now that you have a top coat, you're going to file down some of these ridges. I think you guys can kind of see it. They're not too bad, but you want to make sure that you just even them out. Okay, and this is just a buffer. I'll have the link to this exact buffer in the description if you guys are interested. I believe it's a 180 over 180 buffer, and it's very light. It's not going to harm the design at all, but it is going to ensure that you have a nice and smooth surface. Okay, I might get a new one right now because this one's pretty worn down. It's been a while. I could still do it, but it's just going to take me a little bit longer. So I'm going to go get a new one, and I'll come back to show you guys what else I'm going to do with this set. Okay, you guys, so I just buffed everything, so it's looking a little bit dull. It is pretty even now. I could have kept going a little bit more or gotten a rougher buffer, but I don't want to leave, I don't want to take off all my hard work either. So I think that that is good. So, you know me, a little bit extra. So we're not going to leave it just like this. I'm still deciding if I'm going to, put up a listing just with Tortoise Shell, which I'm thinking I will regardless. But what I'm gonna do and what I'm searching for right now is we have these LV stickers here, these tiny ones, and they're gold. So what I want to do is some right here. Just like our Louvre set. Just trying to make sure it's even, not crooked. And then I'm gonna press down. And just as I say that, this one is a little bit crooked. There we go, that's better. And that's what it looks like so far. It's gonna look a lot better once it is shined. So let's do this. I don't know if I just want it to be like an accent or if I want to do all of them. When in doubt, ask hubby. So I'm gonna take a picture, gonna send him a message and see what he says. So we sent him a message. Let's see what he replies with. I'm thinking all of them. But we'll see. He's typing. Okay, so hubby said on all of them. So here it is. I'm just making sure that they are on there pretty well now that I know that they are centered and what we're gonna do with it. So then I am just going to shine all of these because honestly it looks way better shined than matted. Gonna shine them all. done here. As you can see, it definitely looks so much better. All the depth, you can see it when it's shined. I do not recommend this set in matte at all. Okay, last one. This is so cool. I love these. I will make sure to add different variations on the website. So one variation will be with these tips, all of them. Another variation will just be the tortoise shell on all of them. Go. And then another variation would be like all black and then this as an accent now, or maybe the pinky, we'll see. Putting that in, and I will show you guys how it looks once it's done. But that is it. That is the finished look for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you guys learned, but I'll show you guys how it comes out just to kind of show it off a little bit. Here is the finished look. They are stunning, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and learned something, learned how to do this technique, or just add something to the way that you were doing it. These are stunning. I can't wait to put them on. I will decide whether or not I show you guys how they look on in this video, but I do have to do some TikTok content or just content in general with them. But if I don't, here it is. I hope you guys can appreciate it. It looks even better in person, so definitely try out this technique if you haven't already. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you recreate this look, please tag us on our Instagram account at thenailshop.sb. Bye guys, until next time.